Hey, what's up guys, LaRosa here with Trailblazin Tech, and in this video I want to talk about creating a simple onboarding workflow in the TechDesk Suite powered by HighLevel. Now the reason why I want to talk about this today is it's one of the things that online coaches really need to set up when they are trying to start automating their business. Inevitably, it's one of those things that I set up first for new clients whenever I bring them on. So they usually have a long list of things that they do manually, like step by step, like sending out the contract, waiting for the contract to be signed. Then once that's done, then there's a whole list of services and things that they have to sign them up for, give their client access to, send them a welcome email, and then it all has to be done in order every single time, and you don't want to miss any of those steps. Well, we can automate this. And using the PIE Automation Flywheel framework, this is one of those things that's ripe for automation. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how to set up a bare bones onboarding workflow using HighLevel, and just walk you through it step by step how I would do it for a client. So let's jump right in and get right into it. All right, so what we have here is a basic demo account, and before we jump in, there are a couple of prerequisites that you're going to need to have done before you get into this. So you're going to need your domain set up, you're going to need your payment set up, you're going to need your email set up, and then if you're going to be using courses, communities, or any of that stuff, you want to make sure you have all that stuff set up and ready to go. But this is just going to walk you through, like step by step, the onboarding workflow. And to start, we're going to start with setting up our product that we're going to be selling. So to do that, we're going to come over here to payments. Then we're going to go to products, and we're going to create a new product. So we're just going to call this one demo product. And then since this is just a demonstration, we're just going to skip all of this description, media, and all that stuff. Just going to come down here to price. One time, let's say our one-time fee is $1,200. And then we're going to add another price for a payment plan. So we'll just call this one payment plan. This one is recurring. We'll say $400 a month, monthly, for a total of 3 payments, and there's no setup fee. So that is all that we need to do for this. We'll click save. And then just because I like to keep things clean, we'll come down here and we will change this to say pay in full. Click save. And now if we go back to our demo product, we see we have pay in full price, $1,200, payment plan of $400 a month for a total of 3 payments. So our product is done. All right, with that done, we're now going to set up our checkout page. So to do that, we're going to go to sites and then funnels, and we're just going to create a new funnel. And we're going to create it from blank, and we'll just call it demo product checkout. I'm going to click create. It's going to create our funnel for us. And this one we're going to just keep really simple. So we're going to come in and add a new step. We're going to call this one demo product checkout. Create funnel step. And then before we jump into here, let's jump over to products, because we need to add our products to this checkout page. So let's go to products, and then let's add our product. So we can see here we have our product. We're going to select demo product. Then we're going to select price, and we'll start with the pay in full. We're actually going to add both of these. So we're going to do pay in full. So then we're going to give it a name. So demo product pay in full. Click save. So then we have our first one here, and then we're going to add a second product. It's the same product. This time we're going to choose payment plan. So we're going to do demo product and say 3 monthly payments. And there we go. So now we have these 2 products set up, and they're going to show up on our checkout page once we have that set up. So now we're going to go back to overview, and we're just going to create from blank, and we're just going to make this really simple. So we're not going to worry about stylizing this, making it look all nice. We're just going to keep it real simple. So we're just going to go add a section, full width section. Going to add a row, so 1 column. And we're going to add an element. Let's add a headline. Let's come in here and say demo product checkout. And then we want to add another element and scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can see order elements. We have a 2-step order and a 1-step order. And then we have our order confirmation. So we want the 1-step order. So we're going to click on that. And then you see it drops it in. And this is all the information that we have there. So let's edit this, clean it up a little bit. So to do that, what we're going to do is click on Advanced. We're going to get rid of the headline. We're going to get rid of the subheadline. We don't need that. We're going to hide the company name. We don't need that either. We'll keep the full name. We'll keep this. We will hide shipping because we're not sending anything. We're selling an online coaching package. And then we don't need this coupon code either. So let's scroll down and turn off Enable Coupon Codes. And there we go. So here we have the full name, email address, phone number, and then it'll have the dynamic items here. So whatever those products are that we just put in there, those will show up here, allowing them to either select pay in full or the payment plan. And then they will put in their credit card number and complete order. And the nice thing about doing it this way is it gives you options. Because if you are someone who likes to be an online coach and you take your orders over the phone, then all you have to do is pull up this page, have their name, email, phone already pre-filled, and then all you have to do is enter their credit card details, and it'll send them the invoice and start the whole onboarding workflow for you. Or if you want to send them the link, you can do that as well, just by giving them the link, sending it to them. Very easy. So we will click Publish. We will connect this to our test domain. So we have demo.urbanscholar.com. Click Save. And of course, you want to make sure that you update your SEO metadata, but we're going to skip that for now. So Publish. And then let's preview this, just so you can see what it looks like. All right, so see here we got our demo product checkout, our headline, put in their full name, email, phone number, and then they can select which option they want. And then you just put in your credit card details and then complete the order. Easy peasy. Now, we need to go back and create our order confirmation page. So to do that, we just come back to our funnel. We're going to add another step. And then we'll say order confirmation. And then we'll create funnel step. And then for this one, we're actually going to use the existing one that we already created for our demo product checkout. So we're just going to use existing, choose our funnel. And then we're going to do product checkout, and then I'll show you how easy this is. So it's created that page. We're going to go in and edit. And now we don't need this order form, so we can just come up here, click delete, and then in its place, we scroll down, add our order confirmation, and then there we go. But we can see it has shipping details here. We don't need those. So we go over to Advanced, we then hide shipping details, and then that's all that we need for the order confirmation. And then we click Save and Publish. Now the one thing that I do want to show you is if we go back to our demo product checkout page, you will see here when you click on the order form, there is this section here that says Button Actions. And by default, it says go to the next step. And in this instance, since we only have the 2 pages here, going to the next step will work because the next step is the order confirmation. But let's say you had multiple checkout pages or multiple variations of it. What you'd want to do is come in here and change this to then say, go to select a step. And so just for the sake of not having to update this in the future, we're going to come back and do that. So we're going to select a step, and then we're going to select order confirmation. So that way, no matter how many pages we have in here, it's going to send them to the order confirmation next. So that is all that we need to do to save that. So we've already set up our product. We've set up the checkout page. So now in order to set up the checkout page and send somebody to it, we have our link here. We just copy that and we either open it ourselves to fill it in or we send it to our client for them to fill in. But then the next thing that we need to set up is our contract. So to do that, we're going to come over here to payments again. And then we're going to go to documents and contracts. And we're going to go to templates. Then we're going to create a new one. And then this gives you the option to either upload a PDF. So if you already have one that's already pre-configured, ready to go, you can do that. Or you can create a new one from scratch. We're just going to create a new one from scratch. So we're just going to call this Demo Product Contract. And then all you need to do is come in here and start adding your elements. So we're going to add an element, and you can say add in your logo, but I'm not going to do all that. We're just going to add some text here. So we're going to add some text. So we have our headline. So Demo Product Contract. And then I've got some text that I'm just going to paste in here. This is just some dummy text. And we'll actually delete this paragraph just to make it a little bit shorter. Give us some room at the bottom for signature. And then let's say we want the person's name in here. So we can easily make that very dynamic. So we just come up here to the top. And let's say client name. And then we can also come in here and then use some custom values. So we can go to contact, full name, and then it puts in the contact's name, and this will get replaced with their name. So we can do that, and then like client email, and then put that in there as well. Now we want the signature field, so we just come back up here, we add signature, drop that in, put that where we want it to go. We'll make this a little bit larger, resize it. And then we want the date. So we'll just drop that in. And drop that in right here. And then for the date, I always like to make sure that that's required. And then as far as the available dates, I make sure that only today's date is available as the date that they can select. And then that is all that we need to do. And so if you want to make sure that you can sign it as well, then you can add another signature field and then come over here and fill in who it wants to be filled by. But this is just for demonstration purposes, so we're just going to leave it just like this. And then we're going to click Save. And then that is all that we need to do for our contract. And so these are all the pieces that we need in place in terms of having pieces built out for our workflow. So now we can actually go in and start building the workflow. So let's go start building some automations. So we go to automation. And the one thing I like to do is put all of these in a folder so that it keeps everything organized. So we're going to create a folder. And I like to number mine just to keep everything in order. So we'll just say like 00 demo product checkout. Well, no, we'll say onboarding. So now we have our folder here. We'll go into our folder, and then we're going to create our first workflow. And we're going to create it from scratch. And then I like to keep everything organized again. So we'll say 0.0a, and this will be demo product onboarding workflow. So the first thing that we need is our trigger. But before we do any of that, let's go into settings and set this stuff up. So under settings, allow reentry, we'll leave that on just in case someone happens to purchase multiple times. We'll allow them to go through it. Allow multiple opportunities. Stop on response, we don't need that. As far as account time zone, that's all good. The main thing that we want is these details. So like if you have a phone number, you can make sure that it's sending from the correct phone number, especially if you have multiple phone numbers. But adding your sender details here is going to make your life a whole lot easier, because then you won't need to add it for every single email that you're sending, because it'll use these default options. So we'll say here, La Rosa Johnson, and then I don't have an email configured for this particular demo site, so this is probably going to throw an error, but we'll just say youtube@trailblazintech.com. But that domain, like I said, is not configured for here, but we'll click save. But we're not sending any emails from here. So we need to add our trigger. So what is our trigger going to be? The trigger is going to be the order form submission. So we're going to search for order form submission. And then we need to add our filters. And then we're going to give this a name. So we'll say demo product purchased. Then we add our filters. So this is in a particular funnel. So it is in our demo product funnel. Then we can add the page if we want to. So page is our demo product checkout. And then that's all we really need to do. Like if you come in here and select the product, if you have multiple products, then you can do that as well. But since we have multiple products, doesn't really matter what the product is because it's both the same one. So as long as it's either of those, then that doesn't really matter. And then there's also like the submission type, whether it's an order bump, an opt-in, sale, or an upsell, but we don't need that either. So as long as it's in this funnel and it's on this page, we are good to go because that is the only product that we have on this page. So how we want to set this up? What are the things that we want to do? So the first thing I usually want to do is add a tag. So we will say add a contact tag. And then we will say like demo product purchased. Then we'll add that new tag. And then so say demo product purchased. And I like to add this to the name. That way I don't have to actually go into the properties and I can just see at a glance as I'm viewing the workflow, like what each of these items are supposed to be. So then we'll save action. Then you can see here, add tag demo product purchased. So we add the tag, and then the next thing that we want to do is send them the contract. Because we don't want to do anything else until they've signed this contract. That's just the way this particular workflow is going to be set up. Is we're not giving them access to anything until they've signed this contract because we want this to be a legally binding agreement. Like, sure, we've already taken their money, but we want to make sure that they've signed the contract. So we'll do search for contract. So send documents and contracts. And then from the user, I don't actually have any users on this account. So let me go back and do that. So let me pause and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So now we have a user in here. So I've selected myself as the user. We're selecting the template that we want to send, which is our demo product contract. And then we click save action. All right, so now the contract's been sent. The next thing that we want to do is we want to wait for the contract to be signed. So to do that, we click on here. We'll go to wait. And we are not waiting for a time delay. We want to go to CRM event and condition. And this is one of those things where it's a little caveat with the way that HighLevel works. So what we want to do is we want to wait for contact details, and then we're going to search for tag. So we're waiting for a tag to be added to their account. So tag includes, so we're going to say demo product contract signed, and then add new tag. So we were waiting for this tag to get added to their account before it continues. And then you can add a timeout and then have some other options run. So like if it times out like after 24 hours, then it sends them an email and circles back to the wait step and that kind of thing. But we're just going to leave it simple. We're just going to wait until that tag gets added. And then I'll show you in another funnel workflow that we're going to build how to check for that. So we're waiting. And then once that condition has been met, we are then going to start adding our deliverables. So let's say we want to then give them access to the community. So we'll say grant, let's say we'll say grant group access, and then course grant offer. So that we do both of those to where we then give them access to a group, and then we give them access to a course. But I don't have either one of those set up in this demo account. So that is not an option here. And then let's say you have some external options that you want to connect them to, such as like you're using like Trainerize or something like that, and you want to connect them. For that, you would then do like a webhook. So then you would do a webhook, and you would use something like Zapier to then connect to that. So you would get the webhook URL from Zapier, put that in there, and then Zapier would then create the account in Trainerize and all that kind of stuff. So you have those options there, but I'm not going to get into that because that's a little bit more advanced. But you have all those different options in the deliverables that you want to do. But let's say you have an email list that you want to add them to. So let's save this. And let's say we have a workflow email that we want to do. So like we would say add to workflow. We would select the workflow. Let's just say one of these lists is the emails that we're going to be sending them every single week as a part of like a weekly check-in, that kind of thing. But I don't necessarily have that set up, but we're just going to say that this is what that is. So we would give them access to that. We would add that in there, and then they would start getting those emails at the appropriate time. And then we want to say, let's send them our welcome email. So then we come in here, we go to email, send to email. We can skip the from name, we can skip the from email, and then we can say like, welcome to our program, or whatever you want to say here. And then, hey, contact, first name, welcome. And then you'd have some additional information there. Sign off, then click save. And then there you go. That is your onboarding workflow. So then we're going to make sure we click publish to turn this on, because otherwise nothing is going to run. But then we still have the one step for the contract being signed. So let's go back and create a new workflow for that. So we have here demo product onboarding workflow. So let's create a new workflow, start from scratch. And this one's going to be really simple. So let's rename this one 0.0b demo product contract signed. And this one's going to be really simple. So the trigger is, we're going to search for contract, documents and contracts. So we're going to say demo product contract signed is the trigger. We're going to add a filter. So we are searching for the template. So the template is demo product contract. And then we are looking for the status is signed or accepted. And then that is all that we need for that. So we have this product contract. It has been signed, save, and then all that we need to do is add contact tag, and then we have our tag here, demo product contract signed. So add tag, demo product contract signed, click save, and then that is all that we need to do for that. So the way that this workflow is going to work is whenever someone signs the contract, they're going to get this tag added. And then this tag being added is what fulfills the wait step in our other workflow. So come over here, publish, save, and then that is all that we need to do. And this is our onboarding workflow. So we've gone through and we have created our product. We have created our checkout page and confirmation page. We have then created our contract template, which are all the three pieces that we need to actually make this happen. And then we go and we create our workflow, which it starts with here, going back into our workflow, the product being purchased. We then add a tag so that we know that they have purchased this item. We're then sending them the contract. We're waiting for the contract to be signed. And then once we've done all that, we're adding all of our deliverables, whether that be emails, courses, community access, or whatever else we're giving them access to. We can have each of those in step. And then we are sending them a welcome email, and then whatever other options that we need to add into this workflow to onboard our client. But it's really as simple as that. And then we created that other workflow to fulfill this wait step, which is waiting for the contract to be signed. And then, yeah, that is all that you need to do to create a very simple onboarding workflow for your clients. And when it comes to doing this for my clients, this is really the bare bones basic of what I build for them. And then we build out on top of that whatever else it is that they need. So whether that be like adding in their coaching packages with the courses, adding in community access, giving them access to software like PT Distinction or Trainerize, like all that is taken care of through the simple onboarding workflow. And then all the client has to do is make the payment, and then everything else takes care of itself. And for the online coaches that I work with, it saves them so much time and headaches from having to remember, I need to remember to do this step, and this step in this order whenever I sign on a new client. Now they can just focus in on bringing in new clients and knowing that the onboarding process is going to take care of itself, and all they have to do is worry about serving their clients. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to help out, point you in the right direction if I can get this going. And if this is the kind of thing that you want to not worry about setting up for yourself, contact me. I'd be happy to show you more about the TechDesk Suite and how it can help you save time and automate your business. So until next time, peace.